I'm trying to find my mouse to maximize this so you can see it better. Yeah, sorry for the AV difficulty. Okay, so, hi. This is Yosung Chang. I guess in the States I'm known as AR hacker, and that's primarily due to like Silicon Valley style hackathons. I guess what I actually, a better terminology for that might be a AR arter, as in I make a lot of AR apps, like hundreds a year, which is kind of a strange melody to have, I guess. Yeah, anyways, so I am a company of one person, which basically means I'm an indie developer, for better or for worse. I should do airplane mode right now, but you know this is a live demo when you're getting like a live stream of the chat messages. So basically, I win a lot of hackathons, and these are Silicon Valley style hackathons where you're building more startup style products. Ridiculously, I won every single big hackathon out there, from grand prize at, should I turn airplane mode on? Sorry, so all these messages, yeah. Anyways, Disrupt, grand prize, money 2020 first place, Salesforce, PayPal, Google, Project Tango, way back when Tango was still, kind of old, 2015. Microsoft Build, first place, AT&T, IoT Hackathon, and why are push notifications still showing? Wi-Fi off, right? And also recently we won the AT&T Shape Hackathon, also the Alexa prize for this thing that I guess you guys don't have here, this Amazon Echo thing. Intel Perception Computing, I won 3 first place prizes somehow. That became real sense. And there's like a lot more. It would take a long time to fully enumerate, but feel free to Google me up. Okay, so great. So I guess I started these companies, but you have to be aware I'm a company of one person. The funny thing is whenever people like find stuff like HoloYummy, Plato AR, like things like that online, they think it's a startup that's funded. I almost feel like I am an artist or a prankster when people just find me like, oh, okay, I want to work for you. And then they think I have like millions of dollars for a funded startup. Which I guess it means that the things I make seem a little bit more polished and together than I often like to think, I guess. So basically, it's in a bunch of different categories, from e-commerce to like education to food and to a bunch of other things. Anyways, it spans the spectrum. Cubiculo and also augmented reality pets and Nomely, Snapglass.es. Like, I have a lot of strange sort of projects and interesting domain names. I guess I'm considered an expert in these technologies. Yeah, and a lot more that doesn't fit that box. I guess this is me, I guess. Yeah, so this is Thomas Edison, and basically he has a quote: "The real measure of success is the number of experiments that can be crowded into 24 hours. I think the lighting is not very good, so the bass tracking for the mouth thing is a little bit, oh, here we go. So basically, I love rapid prototyping stuff, and I have this personal metric where, well, if I can make something in as many things as I can in 24 hours. For example, last week at TechCrunch Disrupt, I submitted, well, this year is only 3 projects because I actually had to move apartments during the hackathon. So, it was kind of cool, build 3 projects and win like three prizes and stuff. So it's kind of an interesting sort of mentality where I really like building things, and I build a lot of things in a limited amount of time. Okay, so let's jump straight to a AR kit demo, I guess. Cool, so I'm going to be switching devices around because AR is very processor intensive, and this phone is actually pretty hot right now, and so is this showing? Okay. Because I'm using QuickTime. Okay, that's annoying then. Sorry. maybe switching devices around might not be the best idea because of QuickTime. And I always forget where my mouse is. Okay, so you guys see me there. Okay, I'm like, oh, which screen is it? So, why is it not showing the iPhone here? QuickTime, movie. Great, is the phone going to show now? Let's see, I guess I could try directly connecting this device. Input. Really? Here we go. Why does it switch from 720p to a signal? But I still have to somehow connect this. Sorry for this. I think it may be different HDMI standards, maybe? Because this worked the last time. Okay. Okay, I think I'll just have to sacrifice this particular demo then and switch on to whatever I can show from a single device, or two, I guess, instead of this showing. This one was working earlier. QuickTime. Trying to show from different devices. One of them is an Android device, so the SH should probably go through directly to Chromecast somehow. Well, okay, this one's showing at least. Oops. Okay, I guess. Which side is the screen on? Oh, that's not connected. The HDMI. You have to disconnect that. Is there a way to set up the Chromecast from the Android for the AR Core demo? Is it here? Okay. Okay. So I guess I'll just jump straight to a interesting HoloLens demo. So All right, this seems to be working. My cable is not long enough, so I'll just put this right here. Okay, so this is a different lens, this different way to show HoloLens, I guess. Instead of having to bring the device, I'm just going to use an iPad, but still give you kind of a similar experience. So this is kind of a top-down view of a, just a building like sort of thing, but that's not what's interesting about it. What's interesting is that we have these views on this side. Basically, imagine if you're standing right here wearing a HoloLens. Well, this is actually what you see right here, and you see in the middle on the right side of the first person. So it's not actually the best view, I guess, so I'm gonna make the person walk around. This is actually an older build where the walk animation was not put in, but anyways. But you see that the actual screen itself is very small, so you have like a really bad sort of culling issue. So you can also, well, this is, it's a live demo. Hello, audience. Say hi. Cool. And of course, kind of a fun thing when you want to, give people privacy for an AR demo, and you can basically just have like a photosphere. But it's still tracking the same image target marker. So, but yeah, basically, this is the first person view from a HoloLens. It's that screen right in the middle, whatever you see. So I'm going to load a few HoloLens apps that are very straightforward demos. One of them is something I made called Dryfire. So you see how there are these floating boxes in the middle. Oh, what just happened? Sorry, cables are really weird right now. Is it? Okay, great. Okay, thanks. Sorry for all of the technical difficulties, but come afterwards and try these out, I guess. That's why. So maybe hold it. Okay, great. Okay, so this is what you see in your world, I guess. So this is first-person view, and then so that basically when you have like HMDs, one of the big problems these days is basically the field of view. So instead of seeing, for example, if you're seeing a dinosaur, it's not like huge. It's more in this rectangular screen in front of you. So in this case, you can basically walk around, tap to shoot things. So get back to the scene, and then make him walk around, and then so see a limited view. So let's load the HoloShatter thing for fun. So basically this is just kind of like a miniature HoloLens emulator. So this is that. Here we go. So I guess sound effects are not working, but basically a classic interaction for these devices if you have like a center dot as a mouse cursor. So basically you're moving your head around, and in this case, I don't know if you see, I'm blowing the cubes up. Okay, this is in a way kind of like a hollow world for HMDs, because your interaction is primarily with, usually with a center cursor. It's, and air tap is kind of the HoloLens. They have two gestures, air tap and that. So let's try HoloShatter. Okay, I guess another thing that's kind of fun is we can walk around. Where is the mannequin? Okay, here we go. So I don't know if you noticed, I have tiny markers in the kitchen. These are classic blocky-looking markers. This is such an old build. I was planning to show this from a different phone, so let's see. Great, line click. So if we look around, here we go. Okay, so this is what I mean about the clipping. Notice that as your screen moves around, so you kind of see food on these markers, but when you move up, you know, it's like, it's kind of clipping. So that's kind of an interesting thing that, you know, currently the immersiveness of these devices are very limited. So when you design for it, it's your user has to, if it's a giant dinosaur, you have to like move your head up and down a lot to see it. Even for, you know, things like small plates and stuff, it's, you can really only show like one or two of them in the same screen before the clipping issue. So that's kind of a HoloLens demo on an iPad that shows kind of the key limitation of HoloLens. And let's see, so I guess I'm gonna switch to this other phone as this thing gets kind of hot. Or actually, I'll switch straight to like another demo before that. So basically, when I was saying earlier about how I guess I don't really consider myself a hacker in like a security sense. It's more like a startup hacker. So what that means is that, for example, like last April, someone was like, oh, I got 1 million in funding for My2, and then wait, I have to deliver an app, you know, to My2, like AR Studio to My2 internally, and then they would basically some sort of $1 million contract, right? And then can you hack it together in like a day? And then I'm like, maybe. And so in this case, it's a little bit more than a day. So I created something called FaceShop.io, which is kind of like Photoshop meets face tracking sort of stuff. So in this case, let's select like a regular face mask. That's not very nice looking. How about, great. So there's also Photoshop effects. So right now it's in multiply mode. And in multiply mode, you can choose everything like in Photoshop, like, the layer effects section at multiply mode. So color burn and other things, or the tiger. So you can also mix and match other things. For example, I can put a dot and then like a spinny thing. So notice that there are layers like in Photoshop. So this is, essentially it feels kind of like a hack because there's a lot of layers of, you know, just different components, different libraries and stuff, but they've all been put together in a way that is a coherent packaged app, I guess. And I guess it's also, I have a lot of familiarity with a lot of these different packages, libraries and stuff. And so you can drag layers around. So now it's like, okay, that thing is in front of, you know, and then add PNGs and stuff you find on the internet. So it's something fun. And then change different views. This is an example of showing an augmented reality view in a interesting user interface style. So now there's kind of, you can preview it like on a laptop browser resolution or like within an iPad and stuff. Or if you don't want to be limited by a screen, you can, you know, so just kind of maximize and stuff. So let's see. Let's choose like a hat, I guess. So in this case, it's just like a lot of sort of demo sort of assets that like sort of like stock photography, but kind of the 3D stuff, 3D version of it. So put a laser pointer on my head. So this is basically an example of a hack in the sense that this seems like kind of a startup app, but it's essentially, in my opinion at least, really hacked together. Well, kind of just an interesting experiment on what if you can create a, you know, something as easy as Photoshop and then, you know, create an AR creation tool for that. So I guess I'll also switch to Face Mask Designer, which is also something that I created in this is less than 24 hours. This is another hackathon app. Oh my God, there's 10 minutes left. Okay, sorry. Oh God, these demo connection issues. And also, sorry, really bad jet lag. So switch, here we go. I guess I'll just try staying on this device then. Okay, so this is something where you can basically choose whatever image, and then you can, like, I guess I'll go back to the tiger for simplicity. And so I guess unlike just another face sort of thing, you can select UV points on the 68.dlib face mesh. And so in this case, I'm selecting the forehead top, which is kind of average with the eyebrows and the eyes, and then move it around. So I mean, you can see that you can fully like manipulate the UV stuff. So kind of, it's interesting also for me to kind of do variations of kind of like in a way a mashup, you know. So basically this sort of face mask thing is very common, but you know, like mash it up with kind of a, you know, more like a creator tool interface where you can select different dots. Like in this case, let's select the mouth and like move it around. So of course, right now I'm not really trying to create art, although some people may think this is like, I guess, modern arts, but it's just to show kind of that the UV points highlighted in pink, they're, you know, moving around, and it's like a, you know, like a UV map editing sort of tool. Okay, so I guess I'll jump straight to some snapshot demos, because that's really fast to show. So these are a lot of sort of much more practical demos, I guess. Meaning that, for example, what is AR good for? Let's do, okay, here we go. So, I don't know if you noticed that there's a purse right here, and then there's like a little marker thing. I guess I have to kind of keep this, so I didn't bring the purse with me. So basically, you can also identify objects and then be able to find out more about them. Let's see. Okay, I'll jump straight to the marker demo. So I guess imagine a page in a magazine, and then so this is the magazine itself. You see like different things, and you can also augment photogrammetry-based 3D scan things of products. So no human slave labor art is required to, I guess, create the 3D assets. So that's kind of useful, I guess. Another photogrammetry example. This one is kind of fun. So basically, it lets you look into a painting. So if I kind of curve the paper, you can see the marker. And also Hollow Yummy, I guess. So kind of a interesting project I've done for a long time is scanning 3D food. Instead of taking pictures, I've been like scanning food for like the last 7 years, so just interesting things I've eaten. So basically, here's some examples. In this case, it's on a piece of paper that's kind of like an interactive menu, but kind of the key thing is quality seems really real, I guess. So also magazine AR. So in this case, like what if you don't have like 3D models of things, you know, kind of a interesting way you can create that sense of presence is by removing the background graphic, just like image magic, batch process it and stuff from any e-commerce website, and then like this is another example. Basically, the e-commerce site had like 3 different images, and then you can, you know, easily kind of see it there. But as you move it around, you can see it's a 2-dimensional thing, but it feels kind of realistic. And for things like, say, sizing, this way you can kind of see the size of this particular purse. So the metric is based on the paper size, and so so basically a lot of interesting, I guess, more useful applications. Okay, let me just jump straight to, I guess, more mashup demos. Okay, this is Speech Kit with AR Kit. Okay, so we have an AR pet, and we can tell him to sit. I wish I have a longer cable so I can kind of walk around some more. But we can tell him to lie down. Lie down. Sleep. 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 Jump. Jump. Yeah, basically, well, I'm building a lot of AR things. Yeah, I should probably also add in a lot more sort of pseudo AI things. 5 minutes, okay. Right now, I'm totally going like in a random order now because a lot of the demos I want to show on different devices are not connectable, which is a little bit of a pity. This is another example of an AR pet that I built. It's called GIF-Mommy. So before AR view, it's in a box. So you can make it walk around. You can also, say good boy and like, touch it until it kind of loves you and stuff. I don't know if you remember, right? Back then it was slide to unlock your phone. So I kind of like skeuomorphism kind of, although I prefer also the clean UI. But so when you slide to unbox it, it's kind of like you have this sort of transition from top down to like an AR view. So in this case, I can augment onto any surface. For fun, I guess I'll just use this. Although you guys can literally just like scribble on a paper and then this can augment onto it. So jumps out of the box, and then you can interact with it in different ways, and also like say buy stuff from a giant grimoire. Okay, so I'm going to speed this up and add in some stuff here and change the weather. So this is kind of interesting. So now it's snowing, kind of. And I guess another example of the virtual sphere mode. So you can just use any HDR sphere and, kind of block out the background. And a lot of other really cool stuff, but I want to show a lot more things. I also want to show Alexa Pet, but I don't have an Alexa with me. So let's jump straight to okay, this is kind of a fun thing that like was just kind of a result of a actually not this one. So I built a lot of AR pet things, and someone was like, you should just build like, an AR boyfriend thing. But I think this is actually on the other phone. Yeah, so I guess I'll jump back to the HoloYummy demo, and I would really wish I could connect the other devices because there's actually a lot of really great stuff, but yeah, and then, okay, so the problem with this phone is that it doesn't have everything that's the latest, and I'm almost like, okay, which version of the app is on this phone? I'll just jump straight to showing more before demos, I guess. So basically, fun thing about Vuforia is that there's something that people often don't use, which is, wait, is this actually the right demo? Image targets. Well, basically there is the paper thing. Wow. Ant problem. Actually, I'll jump straight to another demo because I think I actually have the wrong version of that app on this phone. This is when I bring too many devices and I assume each device can be connected. So ant problem is something interesting because you can augment ants pretty much anywhere. So in this case, I'm going to just choose the surface and augment some ants from right here. Okay, buy more food, fine. Exit. I'll just use free food. So basically, there's a lot of ants that are kind of walking around. So no, I don't know if you noticed there's little ants crawling on the screen. So it's a ant problem that you can bring with you everywhere you go. And you can also like do art with it too. 1 minute. Okay, so I actually have a lot of ARKit and ARCore demos that were not able to be connected. And sorry for all the technical issues. I think I want to try to record all the demos, like I guess separately, probably after, to just have like the final version for your archiving. And if you guys want to have time to look at that, it might be just you're watching behind me or something because of all the connectivity issues. Sorry about that. And there's I think the ARKit and ARCore stuff, because it's a little bit it's in the media, I guess it's a little bit more interesting. I guess any questions? Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's a pretty cool demos. I actually tried ARKit recently, and like I have a question about why do you think AR became popular and get a lot of adoption now? When I remember back in 2007, I had a Nokia phone and I had like a Space Invader or like Space Shooter game where I could see through my camera and like some aliens fly into me and I can shoot them while my phone. And like then it was silent for 7 years.
Well, I think devices have become very fast right now. 7 years ago, your shader model was like probably ES1 or something. You could not do really interesting graphics, special effects and stuff. And I mean, I feel like a lot of it is a little bit of hype, but it's also very exciting. Whenever you show an AR demo, people are like, oh, okay, it pops out. Like when you show a product in AR, it's almost like you have it in front of you. So I guess I don't fully know if it will become, it might just be forgotten again, who knows, in the next few months. But the key thing is devices are much faster, so the demos, I mean, you all remember really old sort of, like ES1 shaders, the lighting looks really bad. And now it's like people expect to see, when you have a 3D model on your phone in some AR view, they expect it to look pretty good. And so maybe nowadays when everyone has a supercomputer in their pocket for a phone, it may be more of an adopted thing. We'll see, I guess, yeah.
More questions? We have time for 1 or 2 questions.
Hello, thank you for your presentation. How difficult was to learn these things? I mean, how many cool things provide you from library, and how many you native programming from that?
Okay, so I should probably also give an overview for the libraries used, I guess. So the face tracking like stuff is pretty much all OpenCV and DLib, and you saw the before demos on the image targets, and also several other things. The ARKit demo, I guess it wasn't loading on the other phone, unfortunately, and then the ARCore demo also was not fully loading, even though it's on the Android, but it's just not connectable, I guess, somehow. Pretty much the tracking, I like to think of tracking as a lot of is commodity, although when you have like a custom project, like when your client is like, they have an empty room and they have, interesting geometry constraints that say something like, you know, ARKit or something doesn't fully work, you can always mix and match different setups, you know. You can use like a lot of multimodal things where if you, I mean, you can kind of fake AR with no computer vision if you have like enough beacons and other things, you know, just different sort of signals to actually set it up with. So yeah, basically everything I showed, except for the Gifgami one, that's just like instantaneous like marker creation, and also the Ant project one. Like everything is basically you can just find the commodity tracking somewhere, and just create a creative app that, you know, properly uses the AR tracking. That kind of makes sense. So I'd like to say that it's fairly accessible. Like if you have like an AR idea, you can probably make it, especially if it's just you want to show something like a cool interactive demo that you would show like in front, like, you know, augment an object or something. Also, face tracking itself is very, it's also very accessible too. Okay, great, this is finally loading. Okay, cool. I forgot that I actually do have like a contact slide too. If it lets me load that. Oh, okay, great. Contact. And I guess that's my contact information. And hoping to actually, I guess after this, like show the demos in the right order, and then maybe we can like somehow custom record that, I guess, for the archive. Yeah, any other questions, I guess? Oh, sorry, why is that blocking up this slide? I guess I also wanted to show other things too, such as like a lot of the times, like when you have things like ARKit and stuff, it's doesn't actually, well, this is kind of annoying because usually I show this like, so, okay, yeah. Another one is basically the art gallery sort of identification, which usually I don't show on the phone like this because of this camera things, okay? So if you have questions, feel free to ask me or to like email me, Twitter, whatever. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties in connecting all the devices. I'm out of time, right? Or can I keep showing or connecting things or? Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks.